Hi guys, good morning. It is 12:06 p.m. on a Sunday morning. It's been a hectic week. You can probably see by the look of my face. Every day I've been on Zoom. London is on completely lockdown, just to let people know. London is locked down, a national lockdown. Boris Johnson has also stated that the whole world needs to be COVID-19. It needs to be wearing face masks, hand washes, and it's very important, even in India. So this
Yeah,
project today is called the 400 Most Influential People 2020. We have interviewed more than 357 people around the world. And we are very, very, very excited to have the South Indian actors on board. We've interviewed a bunch of South Indian actors, including Mr. A.R. Rahman, who's also from South India. But we've got Sesh Advi, who is a brilliant actor based in India. He does a lot of South Indian films. We're very happy to have him on board. Sesh, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How are you, sir?
what's up, brother? Doing very well. Doing very well. Actually, we just started easing out on the lockdown a little bit here, so I think that second wave might hit us a couple of months after. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's it. London's got lockdowns. Anybody out there that decides they want to go out and, shake people's hands and, decide not to listen to the rules, well, you need to be considerate of other people as well.
Namaste.
Must and please be respectful to everyone out there across the world. So my question to you first of all is, Sesh, I'm looking at your biography. Now, you worked as an actor, you worked as a director and a screenwriter, and you mainly work in Telugu language films.
Yes.
You also do a lot of stuff. You've won numerous awards. 2018, you won the Citizen Awards for Best Screenplay. You also won the IFA for the second for the Best Story. And you also won the Nandi Award in 2017 and the third South Indian International Movie Awards. And my question, first of all, is how are you dealing with lockdown and quarantine? I think that's the first question people love to know about. How are you dealing with it so far?
I think the last couple of months in India has sort of been a lot of easing up of what was 6 months of a lockdown. Um, so it's been a lot of relearning old routines in many ways. Me going to shoot, for example. Well, I've been shooting the last 2 months in very protected environments. So it's a very different shooting environment for sure. But it still has been an opening up of sorts, as opposed to 6 months of staying in my bedroom. So it looks like now that winter's here, there might be a second wave coming to India. So we might go into lockdown again. But for now, we encourage everyone on set and all the people we work with to double layer up and shoot and do the best we can. None of us shakes hands. Everyone namastes each other. And we try to maintain that distance.
Brilliant. My question to you also is, how did you start your career, Sesh? Obviously, being a notable actor, I know, starting from the bottom and working your way from the top is very hard, especially in Bollywood and South Indian films, because everybody wants their break. So how did you start your career?
The funny thing is, I was inspired by a lot of Indian film, but I grew up in San Francisco, and my whole thing was about sort of returning to the motherland to try for a career there. I found myself liking films from India, though I was growing up in the States. So I ended up, moving back here to pursue that career. And it took a few years before I sort of had that big break. I'd say as an actor, my big break was sort of a film called Panja, where I played the antagonist, this horrible, brutal dude.
In India, there is a population of 1.2 billion people out there in India. Now, everybody's trying to make success. Everybody's trying to kind of move forward. What advice would you give kind of to young people out there that want to do what you do?
I've noticed that, especially in the last 5 years, it's become so much about being famous rather than loving the craft of it, loving the art of it. People, I see so many new people, new actresses and actors, sort of more about that selfie picture and getting it on Instagram, that Instagram culture. I think one advice I'd like to give to anybody aspiring to be an actor or an actress is, it's not about how famous you are, it's about how good you are, and that's what makes you famous. So you got to get good before you get famous. You don't get famous and then get good.
Brilliant.
So you got to put your head down and really work at it, work at that craft.
And my last question for you is, do you ever plan to get into Bollywood? Maybe get into the world of Bollywood? Because South Indian films and North Indian films are different. Would you ever consider maybe moving into towards maybe the main, great film alongside Meet the Bachchan and that kind of stuff?
Well, it's interesting you asked that because my Bollywood debut is about to happen next year.
Brilliant.
It's a film called Major, a film about it's a film inspired by the life and times of Major Sandeep Unikrishnan. He is a war hero who passed away rescuing several victims in the 26/11 Taj attacks.
Mm.
Um, so it's his life story, and I'm doing that in both Hindi and Telugu. So it's going to see that big, wide international release. It's being produced by Sony Pictures, and I'm so excited to be able to tell that man's story to a national audience.
Brilliant. My last question for you is: do you you have a great social media following on social media? Social media is a very powerful tool, but at the same time, Sesh, people use it in a bad way.
Mm.
People, I don't know, they just use it in a bad way. They use it to people want to become famous these days by writing the most stupidest stuff. If you're famous, and I know that you follow me,
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I know that you follow me, and I know that if I write anything against you on social media, I know it will make news. Just imagine, for instance, right? Because I'm a journalist. I'm an expert at PR. So I know how the world works. I know how it works, man. I can make this little ring, for instance. Okay, this shoe, yeah, this shoe. I'm not going to put the logo on there, but this shoe, right? It's probably worth about £2. Okay, but I can PR this and make this into £500, and people will believe it, right?
Right.
Right. I can make this ring. Oh no, sorry, no, sorry. I can make this phone. Yeah, yeah. This back case, right? It's a fake Louis Vuitton. But if I PR'd it and said, look, it's fine, I don't care. It's a fake Louis Vuitton. But if I made out to everybody out there that, this is the new fat generation, I write a beautiful article about it, do you know how many people would buy this? Everybody that reads it, because they think it's brand new. They think it's a new edition. So it's the world that we live in. We live in a world where we're controlled by the media. So my question to you is, what does social media mean to you, and how dangerous do you think it is? And
I had that initial struggle with it. I think when I first started, because I was just so honest with my opinions, the way I would be with a bunch of friends. When I put things out there, I suddenly realized that there were so many differing opinions from that. And after that, I sort of realized that I'm not somebody who's okay with being attacked. So what I ended up doing was carefully deciding. I wouldn't say manicuring it, but deciding what it is I wanted to say. I never say anything on social media unless I absolutely mean it. So you're not going to see impromptu tweets from me. You're not going to see an impromptu bathroom selfie from me. Like, if I've put something up on Twitter, on Instagram, it's because I meant to. There was a thought process. There was something that was decided. There was a decision taken. There was nothing spontaneous about it. So I'm very careful with what I say. Having said that, I don't think, I think, I don't think we should look at it as completely an evil thing. At the end of the day, I'm able to follow you and understand your views only because of the existence of social media. So I think the trick is to not go into your shell, and neither is it to live your life completely on social media. The trick is to find a balance, like anything else in life. You don't need to check your Instagram every day, but you don't have to put out a tweet on every popular world event. But if something means something to you, say it. I can't begin to tell you the number of positive ways it has helped. my thoughts on film inspired a couple of people to reach out to me and say they wanted to be assistant directors in my films. And those assistant directors have later become directors who've directed me. So I got to meet friends and collaborators and colleagues because of social media, because we were both able to connect on the art. So I just think if you use it right, there is some dignity to be found. And it doesn't have to be this vile, trolling, hatred spewing thing. And I think the new thing, of course, is you got to definitely watch out for sort of conditioned messages. Like you said, put out a fake Louis Vuitton cover and say it's real and say it's 200 pounds. We got to be really aware of what's true and what's not. I was watching an interview by Denzel recently. He said, if you follow social media, you're misinformed. If you don't follow any media, you're uninformed. Neither is a good place to be. so, you got to be careful about how you do it.
Brilliant.
Me, when it comes to any sort of big world event or any sort of shape-shifting thing in popular culture, I tend to try and understand it from a variety of media sources, like traditionally opposing forces. Like if I'm going to read something from the New York Times, I'm also going to read the Australian and also BBC to understand how people perceive that world event before I make a decision on it.
Well, Sesh Advi, I want to say thank you so much for your time today. And I want to congratulate you being on the 400 most influential people, 2020.
Oh,
and
thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll be sending you a poster, which will be signed by the New York Press News Agency in America, alongside all the biggest stars. And congratulations, and good luck for your future.
Thank you, my friend. And same to you.
Thank you, sir. Give me 1 second for you.